Watch this video how to handle an intent to deny after a marriage fraud interview and learn more. Hello everybody, my name is Sapochnick and I'm an immigration attorney based in San Diego, California. In this video, I wanted to talk about the process of responding to an intent to deny following a second marriage-based interview, also known as a STOKES interview. So typically, when you file a marriage petition, the I-130 and the 45, if all goes well, after you get the receipts and the work permit and the whole thing, there should be an interview scheduled. And that interview, they want to determine, the government wants to determine if this is a bona fide marriage. So both spouses will appear and they'll ask questions, general questions about the relationship, and they want to see joint documents together, and they will ask certain questions. After that first interview, if they're not convinced that it's a bona fide marriage, a second interview will be scheduled. In that interview, it's a more detailed interview where they separate the couple and they'll ask the same questions, one party and the other, and then they'll compare the answers, and they'll make a determination whether it is in fact a bona fide marriage or not. And that is a topic for a separate video which we've done, and I'll do more in detail some videos because we have a lot of questions about this issue. But after a second interview, there should be a decision. And before there's a decision, in many jurisdictions, the U.S. Immigration Service will issue an intent to deny. It's an official document titled Intent to Deny, and in that document they will detail some of the things that happened in the second interview, some of the documents that were submitted by the couple throughout the case, and also any inconsistencies that took place during the interview. They will also be listed there and say, typically they'll give 30 days to respond to that intent to deny. And the biggest issue is that they're concluding that intent to deny by stating that the government is not convinced that it's a bona fide marriage and it was only a marriage of convenience for the sake of getting the paperwork of immigration. And so it is very important to take this document very seriously and respond to it correctly. Typically what we do in our office when we get a client with an intent to deny, we'll try to analyze what happened at that second interview if we were not there. And typically if we go with our client, we have detailed notes as to what happened in the interview, and then we can help respond to the intent to deny because we can always use some of our notes to show that what was the position, what was our position, what was the client's position, and what actually happened at the interview to make it easier to respond to the intent to deny. If there was no attorney present, or we just have that piece of document that lists the inconsistencies, it is important for the client to list their version as to how they see it, as to why the inconsistency happened. Sometimes people are nervous. Sometimes you forget things. Remember, it's an intimidating interview. There are usually two officers involved and they ask questions and they repeat them again, and sometimes people forget. If the inconsistencies are not that material, if you forget if it's a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday, or if you had chicken instead of beef, those are much easier to overcome. But if the inconsistencies are much more important, like date of marriage, or was there a proposal or there was no proposal, or then it's important to sit down and be honest and admit that the person was nervous and therefore they didn't tell the truth, but it still doesn't mean that it's not a bona fide marriage. So it is important to be truthful and honest when responding. And so I always ask the clients when we interview them, why did you say this? Why did you say this? Well, I was nervous, I forgot. Well, why did you lie? So it's always important to admit, to say, yes, we didn't tell the truth about this, but this marriage is real because here is the proof why it is real, and bring evidence to the response to show why this was a bona fide marriage when incepted, because really that's the burden of proof, to show that this is a marriage that was real when the couple entered into the marriage and it just didn't work out for whatever reason, or if they have difficulties currently, or if the inconsistencies happened just because they were nervous. Put this in paper and explain why it happened, and be very honest. At the end of the day, if there is enough evidence to show that it was a real bona fide marriage, we have to put this into our brief and show the USCIS that what happened in the interview is not a reflection of the real situation of this couple, and it's still a real and bona fide marriage. Once you put this together, and the key here is to avoid the presumption of fraud, because even if they deny this, at least you won't have a presumption of fraud, and they're just denied because of not sufficient evidence. Once you respond correctly, using that strategy with affidavits and all the additional evidence you have, they will make a decision and either approve the case or deny it. If the case is denied, then we have to, it's important to discuss it with an attorney to make a decision whether it's important, where you can refile or do something else to get your immigration status. In any case, hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions about the intent to deny process, please email me at jacob@h1b.biz. Post your comments below. Let me know what you think of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because we have a lot of videos coming to you every week. And we look forward to seeing you at our next video. Thanks for watching.